Hey everyone, and welcome to Slender November, Part 1, Marble Hornets. So, like I said before, I'm not going to do a full reaction to the entire series going forth. The reason being is this video will be too long, and two, I feel like it would be better to talk about my experience with the series in general. And I think that's usually what you guys come to see, honestly. Enjoy the Ricky O poster while I talk, if you don't want to see my ugly mug. So, I watched Marble Hornets at the end of 2010. That was the first time I had gotten to experience it. It was the middle of the second season, I think. Entry 28, 27. So, what happened was, I lived in Seymour, Connecticut, which surrounded by trees. And so I'm looking on YouTube and I see a recommendation for Marble Hornets Entry 1. I watch it, and the only thing going through my head is, holy shit, this is real. I'm not kidding. I really thought this was a real thing that was happening. You gotta remember, back then we didn't have a lot of these YouTube series that looked like it was made in real life. So I ended up binging the whole thing throughout the night and being too afraid to honestly go to sleep, which honestly it did its job then. So I guess I consider it a success. Now, the story involves, you're actually seeing the summary so far, but the story involves Alex Crayley, a young man making his own student film, but suddenly he decides to just stop completely and give up on it. The tapes end up going to a person named Jay, who decides after a while to start watching them. And he ends up seeing the mysterious man, which we now know as the operator, in a lot of these entries. Now, the operator is based off the Slender Man, which is why this is Slender November, duh. So, it's kind of interesting that the operator in this seems like its own entity as opposed to the Slender Man. I mean, it's pretty damn horrifying in some cases. But at the same time, you know, the real villain of the series turns out to be Alex, who has, we are going to spoil territory, I should just warn you all, who ends up killing most of his film crew. And later it's revealed he even killed Jay. So it's weird to know what's going on or what exactly is happening. The tapes you think could be a good narrator, but after a while you realize some of them were edited. Not by Jay, but by Alex. But it turns out another person's interested not in finding Alex, but, not just finding Alex, but protecting Jay. This turns out to be To The Ark, who posts his own videos on YouTube as replies to Jay's videos. After a while, you also end up dealing with Tim, who turns out to actually possibly be the cause of all of this, and two others on To The Ark's channel. Now, I think Nightmind did a way better deep dive into this series than I could ever do, so I'll link his Season 1 episode down there. But, honestly, the series itself kept me going for a few years, I'm not gonna lie. It was well designed for a cheap student film, and it did actually help spawn a huge amount of imitators and original programming in terms of online horror series. I'll talk about the other two in the next two episodes, but we've also got Dark Harvest, um, something Princess. Once again, I think Nightmind does a better job than I can ever do. And hit the link to the Slenderverse will be down there. I really don't remember a lot of the shows. God, it's hard. But at the same time, I think you'll all enjoy Marble Hornets the most. If you're not into the Slender Man yet, the Marble Hornets is a good place to start if you've never watched one of them before. Now, I had a breath mint. Now, the movie Marble Hornets is a fucking train wreck. The movie's always watching Marble Hornets, but if you take away the Marble Hornets part, it's just a very bad Slender Man movie that honestly has no place existing. I mean, it tries. But it's Gravitas Ventures, meaning they didn't try at all. Ah, God. I do not have a lot of thoughts on that movie. Acting's fine. Doug Jones is a good Slender Man, but he's not really the best. He doesn't move. They could have just replaced Doug Jones with a damn mannequin and had no issues whatsoever. I'm not even kidding when I say that. Like, they could have just hired, I don't know, the Great Khali or, like, I don't know, a mannequin. A mannequin would have worked perfectly fine, I think. But other than that, I still think watching the original Marble Hornets is a better idea. Like, if you want to watch the movie, go ahead. It's probably available on Vudu or Tubi or whatever weird streaming service you have. It's just kind of a shame that we haven't gotten anything like this in a long time in terms of Slenderman, but hey, next entry, we finally get to talk about Everyman Hybrid, so maybe I'll have a few more words to say about that. Well, that's the end of this entry. I'm sorry I rambled a bit, but these aren't going to be very long videos, I'm not going to lie. These aren't like my regular reaction videos, so I will see you all next week for part 2 of Slender November.